Hey, welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about the multiplayer combat editor. In this video we are going to see how to implement stats into an actor. So we are going to take we are in our example project, third person blank project. So we're going to add to our content browser and to the folder named third person blueprint. We're going to go to blueprint, third person character, open that up. Bring that up. So this is the Unreal code. We don't care about that. Unreal code. So this is just making sure we understand what that is properly. Fine. So how to implement stats? All we have to do is to add a new component, search for stat manager and choose that one. I pressed enter and it chose the stat manager. And then we have to do something else. We have to go to class settings and into the, so in here, and into the interface tab in here, we need to say that we want to add an interface. We need to add the BPE stat interface like that. And it automatically generated a bunch of functions for our actor. So we can hit compile, hit save, and then we have to go to our interface tab in there, open the interface tab up, open that, and in there we have to double click the find stat manager, and in there we just have to drag and drop the stat manager we added manually like this. So this is just making sure anyone can ask question and retrieve information about the stats of our actor. So we can hit compile, hit save, and then we can go to our event graph. So we were in our stat manager function and we want to go to our event graph. And we want to right click our stat manager and we want to say that we want to implement functions when the manager is ready and when the manager is initialized. So these are the two functions we want to do stuff in. So if we grab our manager and if we drag a wire out of it, we can type in setup and we can see that it's asking for we only have one function to call, and that's because the setup of a stat manager only consists of adding stats to our actor. So we can just click that and it's giving us a big node that we can branch on the initialization of our stat manager like this. And we can now preview that node, what it is doing. It's asking us what is the name of the stat we want to add. It's asking us what stat we want to add and other things we will review. First, we're going to focus on the two first. So in here you have a bunch of stats. So these are all the stats I created using while developing MC. Maybe you want to create other stats, and in that case, if you want to create a stat that's not there, all you have to do is to go to your content browser, go to your multiplayer combat editor content folder, go to settings, go to gameplay tag, my bad, not gameplay tag, go to stats, to the stat folder. You can add a new stats using the new button on the top right of your screen like that, and say you want a new stat which is stamina. You want to press enter, press save like that, and you want to compile. You want to hit compile when going back to your third person character blueprint, and then you can say, you cannot say that you want stamina, so you want to hit right click on the node, you want to hit refresh nodes, and then you can pick stamina like that. So you can give stamina another name if you want, or you can call it stamina, You can call it how you want. That's the name which is going to be displayed in case you ask for what's the name of that stat. It's going to return that value. So the minimum value, so that's the minimum value the stat can go down to. So obviously for stamina, I suppose it's 0. And the value is actually what is the maximum value stamina can go to. So we can say my maximum stamina is 100. And the spent value, so the logic behind this, so we are not keeping track of how many stamina I have left. We are keeping track of how many stamina I have lost. So, and this is basically this is the spend value, how many stamina I have lost. So if you want your character to start with 100 stamina, you have to say that it has 0 spend value. And then you have a boolean, which is the client stats, which is, but if you check that box, the stat is going to cost a bit more bandwidth, but it's going to update much faster on the owning client of your clients of your actor. So if you're not familiar with multiplayer, it basically means that you can only check that box if you are working with your character and you want that stat to be instantly updated for the client, for everyone but the one hosting the game. And the description is a blank, is just a variable I created to give us the possibility to give a description to our stats, basically. And you can also, so you can copy and paste that, and you can say that you also want else, for instance, and you're good to go. Your character have stats. How can I know? I just do. You can make sure he has stats. So we're going to make sure the stats work by adding a stat overlay. So how are we going to do that? So we are actually going to drag and drop our stat manager, and we're going to type in HUD, and it's giving us a bunch of functions, but the one we are looking for is spawn stat overlay, like this. And we only want to, so this is actually going to spawn a HUD in front of us, telling us what type of stats our character has and what modifier they have. But since it's a HUD, only the owning client can display it, and we can make sure only him does that by right-clicking, by adding a branch and making sure only the local player is triggering this. So we're going to right-click, add a branch, and then you're going to drag a wire out of the condition, and we're going to say is locally controlled, like this, and we're going to plug that. And the stats overlay we want to create is, so the stat overlay can be customized by yourself, but it's going to be the subject of another video. For now, we're just going to use the example stat overlay I created, like this. And it's asking us for a player controller, and that's the player which is supposed to display the HUD. We're just going to give him the player controller 0, like that. And we're going to hit compile, hit play. And we can see that we have stamina and health. So that's going to be it for that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.